NWI LLC versus Carolyn O'Brien and Bernard O'Brien. I did advise the defendants of their rights. I didn't have the record turned on, but I advised them of their rights as tenants. And Mr. John Bradshaw is here. This is filed as a demand for non-payment of rent. Rent is pretty substantial, $1,215 per month. Mr. Bradshaw, what's the status here today?
So, Your Honor, I'm showing that the current amount due through the month of May is $3,900. There's $237.14 in court costs, so the total due is $4,137.14. I might note, however, that I'm looking at the ledger and it has probably what you would deem are two late fees that are not going to be acceptable, one in April for 100, one in May for 100. So I would suspect that that would be reduced by $200. There are additional late fees of 45, which I think you accept those.
I'd allow a 45, but I would cut those into $50.
Well, they're for the same month.
Yeah.
Oh, $100 for the same, 45 and 200s?
Yeah. Well, 45 on the first, 45 on the second, and then 100 on the 11th.
Oh
So
my,
I'm assuming you will just eliminate the 100.
yes.
And I'll inform my client of that if they're not here. I don't see them here. And
Well,
then
well,
We're
we should-
here.
We're not.
Or not client.
No, you meant the company.
yeah,
All right,
so
well, ask, what's your intention, folks? Do you wish to try to stay here or do you plan to move?
Yes, we wish to try to stay here. We went to the DHS office and put in an application for state emergency relief. We have also, in case that doesn't go through, have went to our bank and
Tried to get.
have applied for a personal loan to catch the rent up. Our bank has gotten back a hold of us and said something about
Needing more.
just they needed more information, so we gave them that information. So we're just waiting on confirmation of that. I don't know if I doubt that there's any agreeable way that they will. I don't know, but I mean, if we can make some kind of payment arrangements or whatever.
All right, well, let's talk about this. The law requires that we adjourn this at least 7 days.
Okay.
Give me a moment here. Thought I had this program open, but I didn't. Mr. Bradshaw, in light of the fact they have gone to the DHS, would you like me to continue this for 2 weeks?
Sure, that'd be fine. And in the meantime, folks, if I could get your contact information, we might be able to, the court, I'm sure, talk with you about the ability to do a conditional dismissal.
Right.
More than happy to do that. But if we do it 2 weeks, there's a good chance, let's see, 2 weeks will be the 29th. So we'll still be in May. Well, yeah, sort of. Why don't you just give me your contact information and
well, just a minute. You've got another legacy case set for Friday, May 29th.
Okay.
Havens. So I'm gonna set this for 9:41 so we can. On 5:29.
And if you have a pen, can I give you folks my phone number?
I'm gonna, yes, okay, go ahead.
Just a moment, she's grabbing one.
Then you call me and we'll see what we can do.
All right. Yeah, I'm hoping we can resolve this.
Now, I don't want to put your contact information out over the live feed, so what you're gonna do is call Mr. Bradshaw. And he can
Right.
get your email and your other information. You can discuss possible resolution with a conditional order of dismissal. The law requires I adjourn this 7 days. I've adjourned it 14 to give you more time to find out about your emergency financial assistance.
Right.
Okay,
And
all right,
you got a
Mr.
pen?
Bradshaw, I'm ready.
Okay, so area code 269 569 7590. One more time, 269 569 7590.
All right,
Yep, we got it.
All right, cool. Give me a call and we'll work on this.
All
okay,
right, sounds good, sir.
All right. In the meantime, Mr. and Mrs. O'Brien, the matter is set for 2 weeks from this morning at 9:41. I've already got a case set for 9:40, but I'm thinking this case might be resolved. And Mr. Bradshaw's office is scheduled to be here at that same time. So
All right.
he'll discuss this with you. We'll see what DHS is going to say. Whether the bank will loan you money or not, I don't know. Now,
Right.
when I see you next on the 29th,
Uh-huh.
the next month would be June. And
Right.
June's rent we do on June 1st. So your rent is quite high for our
Right.
1,215 a
Well,
month is pretty.
here's the, also, what when they rented to us, they told us that he said he was charging us an extra 75 a month to start with, at 6 months, that he would consider taking that back off.
Well, I'm not sure the DHS will give you any assistance with rent this high.
Right, well, I mean, they may not, and that's why we
Well,
thought about that too.
are you employed?
Yes, there was a moment there where
both of us.
were unemployed, and that's how we kind of got in the situation.
But you're
And,
both
but we're
employed
both
now?
employed, yes, we are both employed now,
Full time.
full time.
Very good.
So, I mean, if we
All
can
right, you call Mr.
find a way to get
Bradshaw.
through this, we're good.
Yes, if we can get through May and then maybe June. Okay, you call Mr. Bradshaw, he'll discuss this with you. Your next hearing date is May 29th at 9:41 a.m.
All right,
Ready.
thank you
All
very
right,
much,
thank-
sir.
Thank you. Your Honor, I
Mr.
have,
Brad- Yeah,
I have
you
a
got
hearing
some
at
later stuff.
9:50. I'm just gonna log out in case.
All
I
right,
call.
very good. I've got several Riverside cases and we'll deal with them. All right, thanks.
Thank you, bye.
Nine 9:25, 9:30. 9:35, we have 4 Riverside cases in a row and their manager is present. Good morning.
Morning, Your Honor.
This first case, Ms. Marble, well, she's apparently here. No, maybe not. This is Rachel. Ella Marble was served by attachment. Is she still there?
I had one of my maintenance men check her apartment about a week ago and there's still furniture in it. I have spoke to her back in the end of March. And she said that she was going to come in and do recertification and take care of
All right,
everything.
well, let's wait till everybody gets here before we try to make a further record. I just wondered if, because she's not here in a timely manner.
Yep.
And neither is the attorney, but I'm thinking maybe she's not gonna show up. Good morning, are you Rachel Hurd? You need to unmute your microphone.
There we go.
Good morning, you're in the right place, you're a little early and that's fine. We're waiting for the attorney to join us.
Alrighty. It's fine.
If you need to mute your mic because of the kids, you can do that. You apparently know how to turn it on and off, so go ahead and mute it and I'll give you a sign when you need to turn it back on.
Alrighty, thank you.
I'm in the very small little hearing room this morning. Lori, I don't know if you've been here since we've been in the new big old courtroom, but we often conduct court now from what was the county commission chambers. This is a small hearing room. I don't know what it was originally. But where Judge Patterson and I are sharing it. We have 4 courts and only 2 functional courtrooms.
No, I haven't been there since the court switched over. I did notice it looked a little different this time.
Well, this room, it's adequate for this purpose when we do everything remotely.
Yeah.
I could probably even do it from my office, but that isn't set up for it. Well, while we're sitting here not doing anything, let me advise Ms. Marble of Ms. Hurd of her rights. Ms. Hurd, you are here on a landlord-tenant case where your landlord has asked you to be evicted for non-payment of rent. They want you to either pay the rent or move out. Most people try to make an effort to pay the rent. In such a case, you have a right to hire a lawyer. If you can't afford an attorney, you can see if a legal aid attorney would be available to assist you, or if you could find other legal assistance. You have a right to have the case heard here in St. Joseph County where the property is located. That's never been an issue, not even once, but that's what the law says I have to tell you. You have a right to have a jury trial. If you wish to have a jury trial, you must tell the court at this first appearance or make the written demand within 5 days demanding a jury trial and pay the $50 jury demand fee unless the judge waives the fee for your inability to pay it. If your landlord has asked you to be evicted from a residential property because you haven't paid the rent, you may be able to get emergency housing assistance from the Department of Health and Human Services, the Community Action Agency, Neighborhoods, Inc., or if you're a veteran, you may be eligible for some veteran services or other emergency housing funds. Frankly, there's not a lot of that to go around anymore. You may be able to reach an agreement with the landlord by going through mediation. If both parties are interested, we can schedule a matter for mediation. That's not happened yet, but one day it might. Also, you may be able to reach an agreement with the landlord by which you would have a conditional order of dismissal, agreeing to certain terms and conditions to either pay or vacate. And if there is a conditional order of dismissal, we would ask the attorney to prepare it. I'm a little concerned. Mr. Pritchard has got all 4 Riverside cases and they're 5 minutes late, which makes me think maybe they're late. Anyway, we'll be all right. Good morning. Ms. Haddad, would you join us, please?
Yes, my apologies, Judge.
Good morning. We've been waiting 6 minutes for you to show up, but we started anyway, and we advised our first defendant of her rights. The actual first defendant hasn't appeared. That would be Riverside Townhouses versus Ella Marble. Let me get your appearance.
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. Rania Haddad, P 8497 for the plaintiff. My apologies. I had this in my schedule for 9:25, Your Honor.
We have a 9:20 and then a 9:25 and a 9:30. Anyway, the 9:20 hasn't shown up. That would be Ella Marble. According to your manager, Lori Kalmbach, they have looked at her apartment. There's furniture in there, but she may have vacated. Ms. Kalmbach, would you go ahead and place on the record what you were going to tell me earlier?
Yes, I had my maintenance guys go over and knock and just open the door to look in. There was furniture in there, so we closed the door. I spoke to her last time, the end of March, and she said she was going to come in and do her research and take care of everything, and I have not seen her since. We have called her a couple of times after that with no reply. We were able to leave messages, but she never called us back.
Well, we have a second mailing here. We have attachment service and a second mailing. Ms. Haddad, are you going to ask for a default judgment in this case?
Yes, Your Honor. Then plaintiff would move for default judgment for possession. This is a complaint to recover possession only. We have rent to retain in the amount of $2,013.04. Attorney fees and costs in the amount of $186.18. For a total redemptive amount of $2,199.22. We would be seeking a writ date of May 26, 2026. There is no money judgment requested. To my knowledge, the defendant is not a minor, incapacitated, or in the military, and my client can also attest to that if needed.
All right. I don't have a judgment in here that I could find, so I'd ask that you would email me one. Our email address, I don't know if it's in your library, it's on the notice. It's 3bcivil@stjosephcountymi.gov. It's a bit cumbersome. 3bcivil@stjosephcountymi.gov.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And if you email that, I'll sign it, I'll grant default.
I will do that immediately, Your Honor. Would you like the dates and filled in as well?
Yes, I would have used the 25th, but you're going with the 26th.
Right, I believe the 25th is a holiday. That's,
Oh,
I believe
yes.
that, yes, I believe that, yes, that's
Very,
Memorial
very
Day.
good. That's Memorial Day, so thanks.
Correct.
All right, I'll wait.
I will submit that judgment at the conclusion of this hearing, Your Honor.
All right. Our next defendant, Ms. Hurd, was here, and so we used some of that time to advise her of her rights, so we've done that. Ms. Zaretz has joined us. We'll take her case up in a minute. The next matter we're going to address is Riverside Townhouses versus Rachel Hurd. Let me make a note here. The defendant, Rachel Hurd, is present by Zoom. Also present is Riverside's manager, Lori Kalmbach. And this is a demand for non-payment of rent case. At the time it was filed, rent was noted to be $411 per month. What's the current arrearage?
Your Honor, I'm showing rent to retain in the amount of $1,304, unless that has changed.
No,
That's okay. So that is the current amount, $1,304. Attorney fees and costs in the amount of $186.18 for a redemptive amount of $1,490.18 due and owing through the end of this month.
You're
I'm
very
not,
good at that. You'd be amazed at how often I ask council, how much is due and owing? And they fumble around with it. It's like, that's a fundamental question. You laid it out just the way we need to understand it. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Hurd, what's your position here? It looks like you're several months behind on the rent through May.
So I probably didn't go upon the right way of withholding my rent, but I informed them that I had termites. They had told me they were flying ants. I multiple times have brought down the bugs to the office, and they sent Rose out maybe one time to take care of that, and they are still here. They put maybe 1 or 2 traps, and that was about it. And I came home, and there was over probably 100 on my floor.
You believe they're termites?
They are, yes.
Well, that's distressing. All right,
Not
well, there
only,
is a way to do it. If you withhold your rent, and put it into escrow, I've only seen anybody do it right about once or twice in 25 years. But there is a way where you can withhold your rent if you feel that there are issues. Often it has to do with a furnace or water or heat or other things. When did this arise?
probably the beginning of March, I want to say. I came home one day from work and went to go into my kitchen, and when I flicked the light on, there was termites all over the floor, all over my counter, dishes, everything.
Do you want to move out of there?
I just would like it taken care of. I don't feel it's sanitary for my 8-month, well, at the time, 8-month-old to be crawling around with termites on the floor. Also,
No,
they were on his feet, like his food tray, his blankets, his clothes. They were upstairs in my bathtub, in the sink. It's just like they kept migrating. They kept moving more.
all right, well, Ms. Kalmbach, what do you know about this?
I do know that we had them treated, and I was told by our pest control that they were flying ants.
No matter what they are, I don't want them all over my apartment. When was it
No.
treated?
Yep. And I know that she came down to the office once and spoke to me. I don't know about more than once, not to me personally.
Did she ever tell you she was gonna stop paying the rent?
No, sir.
You have this in any other units?
No.
Well, that's a blessing. All right, so we gotta figure out what we're gonna do. I wouldn't wanna be there with an infant child with. So there is a way to do this. You pay your rent into escrow and, the court holds on to it. And it may be a situation where your rent would not be zero, but your rent would be abated or reduced because of this bug infestation.
Correct.
bless you.
So I don't know, Attorney Haddad, do you have any suggestion here?
Yes, I just have a couple questions for my client and possibly for the defendant. So first and foremost, what is the method of Riverside of making any type of maintenance request? Is it usually is it done through a portal? Is it done by calling a number? Is it done by coming down to management?
They can call us at the office or they come to the office, either way.
Okay, and then you indicated that the defendant has only spoken to you about the infestation one time. Is that correct?
Correct.
And is that usually noted on something?
Yes, we have a log.
Okay, and then, so you don't have any other logs, or any other, maintenance requests regarding those flying ants, whatever they may be?
No,
Okay, and then when was the last time that it was treated?
I would have to grab the log.
Okay, so if you could just grab the log, find out when it was treated, but also how soon can we get someone out there to treat it again or to inspect and assess and treat it as necessary? Because I think that is something that we need to do. And in the meantime, Your Honor, I would ask for an escrow order, and I can submit one to the court if need be, for the time being. But I would probably request an adjournment on this one, obviously, and then between now and the next adjournment date, we would have to get somebody out there to treat it. And then I would ask also Ms. Hurd that just going forward, it's, the landlord does not, they don't have ESP. They wouldn't know otherwise unless you let them know that the problem still persists. There's a landlord-tenant relationship, a fiduciary relationship that exists. So I would encourage both parties to communicate effectively with each other. Otherwise, an issue cannot be resolved such as this. So just going forward for future reference, communication is key because outside of court, there is still a fiduciary relationship here that needs to be maintained. So let's get somebody out there to, how soon can we get somebody out there to inspect and to treat?
Well, let's first figure out, when was the complaint made and when was the property treated? Can you check your log, Ms.
Yep.
Kalmbach?
I'll be right back.
Thank you. Because I do see here that the rent was paid through February 2026. March is when rent stopped being paid. And then I did hear the defendant indicate that she discovered the infestation around March. So that would check out.
I also have, so before Amanda had left here, when I had told her about, she told me to put the bugs in a baggie and give them to maintenance so maintenance could take them down there.
I've never really heard of that before, so I don't know. I can't really speak as to
Okay,
what
so
the
that's what I
process
did.
is.
I just put them in a bag and gave them to maintenance. So
All right, when dust, you put dust in a baggie, you put bugs in a baggie.
Yeah.
the bugs.
All right, that dust in a baggie is something different. All right, when was that?
I want to say in March sometime.
Okay, so around the same time. Okay.
Yeah, I don't have 100% date on that.
All right, Ms. Kalmbach, what can you tell us?
Okay, so I see that she reported and then we wrote it down as ants, possible termites on March 6th is when we put her into the book. And our extermination company comes out. I gotta look at my calendar. The first Friday of each month. So she would have reported them the day that pest control should have come out.
And do we have a log that pest control actually did come out and treat?
Yes.
Is there an invoice? Okay, and when did they come out and treat?
She initialed it on 3/6 as well.
Okay, so they came out and treated the same day that she discovered the issue.
Yes.
Okay, does
Alright.
that sound correct, Ms. Hurd?
No. I don't recall them being this being.
Well, did they
So
come out in March and do a treatment?
I had called the after hours because that's what I was told to do, is get a hold of after hours to report the issue. Well, they told me there was nothing they could do about it. So they said wait till office opens back up.
All
I'd
right,
have
well, did they come out in March and do a treatment?
I believe one, and I don't think it was the same day I reported it.
Okay, did you ever report it again?
That was the time I put the ones in the bag for Amanda. And
So
maintenance actually
after it
came
was
to my door
treated-
and grabbed them.
All right, you put some bugs in a baggie and gave it to them after the treatment?
Yes.
When was that?
I'd
Your Honor, if I may just ask, who's Amanda?
She was the last lady at the front office. She had just recently stepped out.
Okay, so I guess now we just need to have somebody come out and treat the issue. When is as soon as we can get someone out to treat it? Is my
I'll call
question.
today and find out. Usually it's within a few days. I have to call Rose and find out when they can come.
Okay,
All right. I'm going to do an escrow order, which is what you do when you don't want to pay your rent, you pay it to the court. So I'm gonna do an escrow order. Is rent still $411 per month?
to my
Yes.
knowledge, yes.
Why is it so dark? And turn the light on.
All right. Escrow order, you have to pay May's rent of $411. and 411 per month as we go on. If we go into June. There are a lot of facts we don't know. Nobody's under oath here this morning. We actually need to take some testimony on this. I have bed bugs, ants. Bed bugs are the worst. Cockroaches, I have bug hearings several times a year. And we try to figure out, did the tenant bring the bugs to the apartment or did the apartment bring the bugs to the tenant? You didn't bring in flying ants. They're endemic and it's something they want to get a handle on. Did you take any photographs of this?
Yes, Your Honor, I have photos and videos, and also there is a rotted wood part out in my siding on my wall. That is, I believe, also from them as well.
All right, the question then becomes, how much should rent be and how much do you actually owe? I don't know. We're talking about March, April, and May's rent. March and April are past. I'm gonna order that you pay May's rent to the court at 411. And if we get into June, you're also gonna pay June's rent.
Okay.
And when I make a determination about how much rent is due, we can apply that money to the rent. If you don't pay the escrow account, I'm gonna give them the relief they asked for. I'm gonna tell you to pay a certain amount of money or move. I
Okay.
think it's gonna take us a little while to do this. I think there's more to this than just coming out and looking at it. It sounds like maybe, what was Amanda's last name?
Wolf. WOLFE.
All right, she's gone. Ms. Kalmbach has managed some other properties here in St. Joe County for a number of years. All right, let's figure out where we're gonna put this. As council indicated, we've got a holiday on the 25th. We do our landlord tenants on Mondays and Fridays. Two weeks takes us to the 29th. We'll still be in the month of May. I'm gonna set this for 11:15 on Friday, May 29th.
Your Honor,
Yes,
I will be on vacation out of state.
well, when will you be back?
I leave the 20th, well, I'll be gone the week of Memorial Day. I'll be back on the 1st.
Well, we could reset it for June 1st. Let's see what we got there. It's not too full. I would set it for 2:30 on June 1st. That will mean this, Herb, you owe May's rent and June's rent. 2:30, 6/1/26. I would be interested in seeing your photographs and your videos. Once you start paying the rent again, if you pay May's rent and June's rent into escrow, there's no absolute urgency here. But a fear is this, out of the 200 apartments there, yours is the only one that has this problem.
I was talking to my neighbor. She said that she saw a few every now and then. She doesn't see them often. But I also was informed that they have black mold in their apartment. So I was trying to figure out maybe who I could go through to get a black mold test here as well. Because both my kids are
Well,
sick.
it's gonna take us a while. You also believe you have black mold?
There is black mold next door in my neighbors on their
Oh, okay.
ceilings. So I just don't want it to transfer to the vents and then somehow work its way over here.
I
Well-
don't blame you there.
well-
All right.
Yeah, well,
we're
so
gonna-
yes, so So there's a difference between mold and mildew, so that obviously that's for a professional to determine, so, yeah,
Well, we're not there yet. I don't
Right,
wanna. Anyway, you're gonna pay me April's, May's rent and June's rent by the
Okay.
time we have the next hearing. Your rent's $411 per month. You'll get an escrow order. Plaintiff will prepare it. $411 per month starting in May. We'll have a hearing in June and we'll see what's been done with the treatment of the bugs. Then we gotta figure out how we recalculate your rent because of the bugs. So it may take us a while. Now, remember, if you don't pay the escrow money, they'll get what they ask for. So, we'll address it further.
And I'm more
Alright.
willing to pay for the rent. I just would like the issue taken care of so my son and daughter aren't living in the bugs. Like that's not. It's very hard with the crawler and a walker with termites on the floor and everything.
All right, we'll go to June 1st, see where we are. Ms. Haddad, you'll send me
an escrow, yes.
escrow. All right,
Yes, I will.
thank you.
Thank you,
All
Judge.
right, Ms. Hurd, thank you. This was a little more complicated than sometimes, but we'll address it again on June 1st at 2:30.
Alrighty.
Thank you, Your Honor.
No, they'll be in here. Just have them wait for now. I have a live customer. Can I have a couple paper clips? I don't know what Judge P has got in his desk.
Am I okay to leave?
You're good to go, Ms. Hurd.
All right, thank you.
All right, let's talk to Natledge Zaretz. That's our next case. Ms. Zaretz, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Your Honor.
All right, well, we have a 9:30 case that isn't here. That would be Kelly Tucker. And we'll come back to that and deal with the people that are here. We're quite a ways behind schedule. We got a little bit of a late start and then we had a complicated case.
Your Honor, I believe
this-
that one at 9:30 is a dismissal because my office indicates that they did dismiss one.
All right, I saw a couple come through, but I'll show that as dismissed and wait for the order. It's probably in the works. Very good. Then, Ms. Zaretz.
Morning, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. This is
Okay.
Riverside Townhouses with the Natledge Zaretz and Zan Zaretz. Both are present. Raina Haddad is here on behalf of the complex and the manager, Lori Kambach, is here. Miss Natledge Zaretz, you've been through this a couple of times. At this point, they just want you to move. They filed what's called a termination of tenancy.
Mhm. Yes, I'm aware of that.
All right, I'm gonna tell you what your rights are. I'm bringing some more people in here. Someone is here by telephone only. Who is that?
Me, Ashley
Ashley, what's your last name?
Whiteman.
That's my file, Your Honor. 1050.
All right. All right, Ms. Whiteman and Mr. Zaretz and Ms. Zaretz, you're tenants in a landlord-tenant proceeding. You have certain rights. You have the right to hire a lawyer. If you can't afford an attorney, you could see if legal aid would be willing to represent you, or you could seek other legal counsel. We don't have court-appointed attorneys in civil cases.
Okay.
Let me make a note here. In this case, they've asked to terminate the tenancy. In Ms. Whiteman's case, it's a demand for rent. In either case, you have a right, as I said, to have a lawyer. You have to hire one or see if legal aid would be willing to represent you. You have a right to have the case heard here in St. Joseph County where the property is located. You have a right to seek emergency financial assistance. If you're unable to pay the rent, you may be able to get assistance from the Department of Health and Human Services, Community Action Agency, Neighborhoods, Inc., or other funding source. You may be able to reach a resolution with the landlord by going through mediation. If both parties are interested, the court can set that up, or you may be able to reach a conditional order of dismissal. Mr. Bradshaw does quite a bit of those. Also, if you wish to have a jury trial, heaven forbid, you must tell the court at this first appearance and be prepared to pay the $50 jury demand fee or make the written demand within 5 days using the jury demand form and pay the $50 fee unless the judge waives it for your inability to pay it. So Ms. Zaretz, we've had several previous cases with this landlord involving your tenancy. At this point, they're asking to terminate your tenancy because you continually fail to put the utilities in your own name. And so they're asking you to move. But what's your position?
My position on that is that for the past year and a half, all the tenants here have received multiple letters on our doors. At least 4 to 5 a month. They've kind of slowed down for the past 3 months. I did let Lori know that there were a few times where I just did not get a chance to look at something on the door. My kids come in and out of the door and collect the letters. The bill was still paid even through adding it to my rent. And that when I finally became fully aware, I did make contact with her at the 10-day mark that the original paperwork sent to me said I had a chance to like work something out, and that did not happen. I kind of want to stress, like, I do want to move. I did hear the previous tenant's testimony. We have had termites here. We have had ongoing issues with the units out here. I've noticed that First Housing has prioritized vacant apartments over people that have lived here a while. Another aspect of the paperwork I got did mention late payment of rent. I'll go ahead and acknowledge that. That's due to the fact that my income changes monthly because it's mostly based on child support. From previous cases that we've had, there have been issues with communicating with the office and asking them how I should handle that if my income it changes monthly. And I was told by Kathy Cooley that the office at First Housing would be looking towards the person who has to pay it. They would be expecting them to pay in arrears, and that there was no necessity for me to recertify or do whatever would be necessary to change that. I did get the gas put back in my name, and I asked Simcoe to email them. Simcoe did not. Simcoe has a record of not really responding. There's been several times where Lori's asked me to.
Let me stop you for a minute.
Yeah.
They gave you a notice to quit in February. It's now late
Yep.
March. So you've known for several months that they wanted you to move. And you told me you want to move. Have you made any provision to start to move?
Yes, I have. I'm talking to my sister. There's a chance that I could move to Atlanta, but I really wanted all of this stuff to go on record. That there's a lot of things going wrong here at Riverside. We do have termites. I have reported things over the years, and got no response. Things haven't been fixed.
Let me stop you. because if you want to complain about a bunch of other things, I'm gonna give you an escrow order, just like the last lady. And, even though it's a termination of tenancy, they claim that on multiple occasions over the years, you failed to put the utilities in your name. And finally, they got tired of it and they filed this notice to quit in February. So February is passed, they gave you until March, you didn't move in March, you didn't move in April, you didn't move in May. So the law says I have to adjourn this matter at least 7 days, which
Okay.
would be next Friday. And if they get what they ask for, you would get 10 days from that day to vacate. You've had legal aid represent you in the past.
Yes.
They're here today. I haven't seen Meg for several weeks. I'm not sure what's happened with them. But today is the 15th. I'm gonna adjourn this to the 22nd of May at 11:15. Does that work for you? Oh, well, I've got a Riverside, no, it's Riverside Estates. That's a different thing, I believe. Yes. Does that work for you in your office, Ms. Haddad?
Yes, Your Honor, that should work, but Your Honor, I just wanted to make a note for the record. So the notice to quit indicates that the defendants have been late on rent payments on several occasions, and there's there's dates as to where they indicate that they've received notices as to the non-payment of rent, in addition to not failing to maintain the utilities in their name. So it is for these violations, including non-payment of rent on multiple occasions, on 3 or more occasions, and then also not failing to put the utilities in their name, which the defendant made statements on the record just now that they did, that she acknowledges the non-payment of rent issue and the utilities as well. So this is just a termination of tenancy for these lease violations.
I think this may be the third Riverside versus Zaret's case. We've managed to resolve the others. But at this point, I think they've reached a point where they're tired of both of these things. Well, wow, there have been 6 of them. 191590, 242391, 251885, 26 1 2 3 1. This is the 4th action. The others were non-payment of rent. This is a termination of tenancy.
Correct.
All right, we'll revisit this May 22nd. The allegation, Ms. Zaretz, is you're continually late payment on your rent and you have not paid your utilities or put utilities in your name, and they're asking you to move. I would encourage you to contact legal aid. If you plan to move, that could resolve it, but it's a situation of maybe sooner than later. If they get what they ask for, you'd have to move by June 1st or be subject to being evicted. And legal aid has represented you in the past. I'd encourage you to contact them. But we'll address this again next Friday morning. I'll be in my own courtroom at 11:15. All right, thank you. Ms. Zaretz, do you have any other questions?
No, I don't, but I do want to acknowledge that the utilities were paid, just not under my name. They were added on to the rent payments, and even though the rent payments were late, some of the months, they still got paid.
All right, we'll discuss that further next week. All right, let's go.
Thank you, Your Honor. I believe that concludes my cases for today.
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Have a great weekend.
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right. Mr. Bradshaw is back and Ashley Whiteman is here. Let me remove his Zaretz. And let me remove Ms. Kalmbach. She's gone. Ms. Whiteman, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
This is file number 26777 LT. LT stands for landlord-tenant. This is entitled Walnut Meadows versus Ashley Whiteman. They're demanding that you either pay the rent or move, and I show rent at $725 per month. Mr. Bradshaw, what's the status here?
Yes, Your Honor. So the current amount due through the month of May is $1,555.30 in rent. There's $239.87 in court costs. So the total due through May is $1,795.17.
Ms. Whiteman, what's your position? Do you plan to pay the rent or do you wish to move?
I actually reached out to Michigan Health Department of Human Services. They sent me a letter in the mail. I have to send them the time, like the date that you want this paid by, and they will help me pay it. I've already done this. I've started like the end of April to try to get help. They sent me a letter back stating they need the exact amount that needs to be paid and like by what date it needs to be paid by, and they will help me.
Very good. Let's, it's interesting because I tell people in the advice of rights, you do not need a judgment against you to receive assistance. Problem is the DHS tells people you need a judgment against you to receive assistance. One judge in Michigan show caused them and brought them in to say, stop doing that. Mr. Bradshaw, it seems like I adjourned one of yours 2 weeks to the 29th already.
Yes, and so, and if I can give Ms. Whiteman my phone number, I can get her a conditional dismissal, ma'am, which would give you all the numbers and when it needs to be paid by. This is the amount through May, so what I would probably state is that it needs to be paid by the end of the month. If you give me a call, I'm gonna give you my number. Give me a call, I'll get your information and get that agreement to you so you can get that to SCR.
Okay.
Tell me when you're ready.
Let me go find a pen real quick.
Okay.
Not sure if I have one.
I'm
Okay.
gonna set this, go ahead.
You're gonna set it for about the same time, Your Honor, on that
I'm
day?
gonna set it for 9:42 on May 29th. I'll note, expect conditional order of dismissal.
Yeah, and so ma'am,
all right, Ms. Whiteman, do you have a pen?
I'm looking.
can you put us in a breakout room, Your Honor, and I'll get her information?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, cool.
I'm gonna, well, she's on the telephone.
Oh, that's
Hopefully
right, sorry.
I think she'll go in automatically. Let's try it.
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
All
You
right,
ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, my area code 269
Yes, ma'am.
569
Yes, ma'am.
7590. One more time. 269 569 7590. Give me a call. I'll get your information and we'll get you something to give to the state.
Okay, thank you.
all right, now,
They're just
Ms.
waiting
White,
on that.
all right, let's recap. I've continued this matter for 2 weeks to May 29th, 2026 at 9:42 a.m. That's a weird time, but I have to separate the cases by a minute or two or they won't be able to put them in the system. He's going to discuss this with you over the phone and potentially prepare what's called a conditional order of dismissal. You already appear to be approved for financial assistance. If that all works out, they'll dismiss the case and you won't have to be here. If it does not work out, you need to be here. And I do not like doing this by telephone. You either need to be here in person or be able to zoom in. but you call Mr. Bradshaw and discuss this. And,
Well, I
I
am
think. it may-
technically at work right now, sitting in my car, so that's why I have to call you.
All right, but if you were adept at it, you could do a Zoom from your phone. But it's certainly a convenience for people to not have to drive over to the courthouse. I appreciate that, but the trade-off is I'd at least be able to like to do it by Zoom. All right, well, you get back to work. You call Mr. Bradshaw here this morning. In fact, I'd encourage you to call him right now while you're there.
Okay.
And, I'll adjourn this for 2 weeks to the 29th of May at 9:42 a.m.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right,
I'll
thank
speak
you.
with
Thank
in
you,
a
Mr.
moment.
Bradshaw.
I feel like I'm in prison already.
Yeah, it's not a very nice
And it's
room. We're
hot.
doing a lot of the least worst option.
Well, I left the door open because it is steaming hot in here. I think it's this light.
All right, we'll make it work.
I must think it's
Good
too loud.
morning, Mr. Captain. Are you here on the Centerville versus Zerly matter?
Good morning, Your Honor. Yes, I am.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The defendant is here at the courthouse. I'm in the small conference room. I put the defendant in the conference room outside the court in case we need to do a breakout room. This, let me repeat, is file 26700LT, Centerville Mobile Home Park versus Shauna Zerler. We were here on May 1st and we continued the matter until today. Parties were put in the breakout room at that time. And in the meantime, the defendant filed a demand for a jury trial, which
I'm
is,
dropping it.
all right, and she, in the hallway, she asked me if I wanted the keys. So, Ms. Zerly, what's the status here?
So we have a move agreed upon, were given to me by someone who probably shouldn't have given them to me. It's a
Okay.
stranger. This is the things I've been going through with my phone. My purse was stolen. I haven't gotten disability for the last 2 months, and it's been pretty difficult. But I'm okay. I'm going to sell it, and I'm going to move on.
Your Honor, if I may.
Yes.
All right, so we did speak, another colleague of mine here at the firm. I believe yesterday there was an agreement for a consent order for conditional dismissal. If I can state the terms.
Yes.
All right, so the defendant shall vacate on or before May 26, 2026. If the defendant vacates timely and signs over title to her home free of liens upon vacating, plaintiff agrees to waive all unpaid charges on the account and pay defendant $8,500 in exchange for assigned title and possession of the home. Failure to comply shall cause a writ to issue without further hearing. That's it.
All right, so you're gonna move by the 26th of May. You're gonna sign the trailer over to them. They're gonna pay $8,500. That will resolve any unpaid rent or other costs. If you don't vacate, they can ask for immediate writ after the 26th of May. And you've shown me the key, so you're prepared to sign the trailer over for $8,500 and move on.
Yes, and I have a question. I'm trying to get help from financial aid. So since this isn't going to go as a eviction on my record, as stated, I need something in writing that says that, you know, this is because of an eviction, either from you or the lawyer. I'm trying to get into another mobile home and they're agreeing to pay lot rent if I can pay the house rent or house payment.
Well, this will show as a conditional order of dismissal, so it will not show as an eviction. Mr. Capitan or somebody else is gonna send me that order and I'm gonna sign it. So do you agree that to the terms and conditions of that conditional order?
Yes, I was just hoping that something could be put in writing that I was being.
I think this is what you're looking for. I think this order will show it's dismissed, and it's in writing to show the case was dismissed.
Okay,
All right, Mr. Captain, would you send me that by email? I wish I had it now. I could give a copy of it to her. She's right here at the courthouse.
Oh,
But-
wonderful.
I had a problem getting to those and finding those, as I had discussed. I'm having problems with my phone. I can only call and make text. I wasn't able to download those forms and sign them.
Well, you came over here as I asked you to do,
Yep.
and so if I was in the big courtroom, I'd have you right in the room with me, but I'm in this little teeny tiny room. All right, the email address, it's on the notice. It's 3B Civil at stjosephcountymi.gov.
Your Honor, may I have 1 minute?
Yes. All right, apparently he's gonna email it to me right now.
That would be good if I could sign it today and just not have
All
to.
right, Elaine, there is a conditional order of dismissal coming by email, if you would look for that. The case we're addressing is Centerville Mobile Home Park versus Shauna Zerley. The file number is 26700. I just realized the record wasn't turned on through all of this. The parties have reached a conditional order of dismissal agreement. The defendant agrees to vacate by May 26, 2026, sign over the trailer to the park. Pay $8,500. The park will pay her $8,500 for the trailer. This will satisfy all unpaid obligations or debts, and the defendant will vacate by the 26th. If she does not vacate by the 26th, she could be subject to an immediate request for eviction. I will provide her, hopefully here in a minute, with that conditional order of dismissal. And then that's, I think, the written document that you're looking for. So once again, Ms. Zoll, you agree with those terms and conditions?
I have a question. Christy and I were discussing, she never got back to me. I asked if there was any way I could take the washer and dryer because my unit didn't come with it. And the unit that I'm looking at now needs a washer and dryer. And if she doesn't mind,
I don't know the answer. If they're agreeable to that, I'm not gonna make a ruling on it because I don't have enough information. Now, I'm a bit of a disadvantage. My secretary is not here this morning. The ladies in the outer office can't always hear me. But the landlord-tenant clerk was gonna be watching this, I think on YouTube, to stay in touch. So I'm asking her to bring me that conditional order of dismissal so I can give a copy to you, Ms. Early, right here while you're right at the courthouse. Now, as far as the keys go, yeah, I don't want them, but you can turn them into Yeshua at the park. But you got till the 26th, so don't turn them in yet. Till you're ready to vacate. And regarding the washer and dryer, you can take that up with them. If it didn't have one when you moved in, maybe they'll just let it go.
I didn't know
All
if that
right.
was something that was in there in writing anywhere either. So I just thought I'd
I
bring it.
don't know the answer to that. I would inquire when you get back there. Mr. Captain, you have any input on that?
No, I do not, Your Honor. However, I did email the proposed consent order. So,
Thank you. It's in the works. Sorry, here's Mr. Senzo. She's right on time. The problem is we started early. Good morning, Ms. DeCenzo.
Good morning, Your Honor.
We started a little early and we put on the record that the defendant agrees to move by May 26th. And if she provides an unencumbered title to the plaintiff, they will pay her $8,500 for the trailer and it will satisfy all other obligations. So Mr. Captain has emailed me that consent judgment and I'll sign it here in a minute. Ms. Zerley did bring up an issue regarding the washer and dryer. Her contention is when she moved into the unit, there was no washer and dryer, and she'd like to take the washer and dryer I'm gonna leave that to you guys. It's not part of this agreement, but, if that's something the plaintiff agrees to, they can do that. All right, Mr. Capitani, thank you for being here. Ms. Early, you guys have been working on this outside my presence and you resolved it, and we don't have to worry about setting a jury trial. And, you're all good to go. I don't know, it'd be worth putting you guys in a breakout room to discuss the washer and dryer. Mr. Senzo, do you have a thought on that?
She can have it. We
All right,
understand.
well, you can have a washer and dryer. There you go.
Most mobile
All
homes
right.
that don't have them anyway.
All right, you're all good to go. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Zerler, if you go to the court office, we'll give you a copy of that order. Time for our next case. It's entitled Neighborhoods of Washburn Lake LLC versus Brooke Beals and Stephen Beals. The manager, Kristen Guevara, is here, and Ms. Beals is here, and Sarah Reed is here from the Palance Law Firm. We were here last week on May 8th, and the defendant indicated that she was going to be vacating, and she had some illness in the family. Her husband was moving to California, and so I asked her when she logged in this morning, do you still plan to vacate? And Ms. Beals, what's your plan?
I have recently spoke with Miss Reed, and we have came to the conclusion that I'm to be out by the 31st of May.
All right, that's a bit of an extension. Ms. Reed, what's the circumstance here?
Your Honor, so, in keeping with the statements you made on the record, I spoke with Ms. Beals, via email, and she requested, to have May 31st. So I, this morning, sent over, a proposed conditional dismissal, just basically converting it from a non-payment to a termination case, so there's no redemption amount. And then, just indicating that we would, vacate the premises, surrender keys, and, vacate by May 31st. I wasn't quite sure about that date because it's a Sunday, and I wasn't sure if Your Honor would want that.
That's fine.
Dismissal,
That's
but
fine. It's the end of the month. If we went with the order, it would be the 25th, so it's 6 extra days. Elaine, apparently there is a consent judgment in the queue in the neighbors of Washburn Lake. Fine. Do you need your office? All right, very good. I'll be done in a couple of minutes here. Thank you. As I said, I inquired earlier from the staff. They couldn't hear me because they were at the counter. Anyway, I'm looking for a conditional order of dismissal in neighbors of Washburn Lake versus Beals. It's not as urgent as the last one was because the defendant isn't here. So Ms. Beals, do you agree you're going to vacate this property, turn in your keys? They're not asking for any payment at this point. And if you don't move by the 31st, they could seek a writ of eviction. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, when you move, you need to turn in your keys and give your forwarding address in writing within 4 days of your moving. That triggers the security deposit law. They can apply your security deposit to any unpaid rent, utilities, or damages. If they wish to sue you for money damages, we're gonna have a subsequent hearing. Let's say the place is all broken up or trashed and there's damage they wish to sue for. That's not this hearing. If they do that, it'll be a subsequent hearing. So you agree to move, and you agree to move by the 31st. And if you don't move, you're subject to being evicted. When you do move, you need to turn in your keys and give your forwarding address within 4 days of your moving. Do you know where you're moving to?
So I have a mailing address that I can give for now.
All right.
As of right this
Well,
second. I
You
don't
turn
know.
that into the manager with your keys.
Yes, sir. And I also want to make it known, I did tell the landlord or the manager about it, because when we bought this home, when we signed the contract to rent to own the home, we got it for such a cheap amount because the previous owners had flooded the house and we were going to fix it up. So what they did is they stole the water softener system and they never shut the water off. And the entire house flooded. So all of the subflooring is falling through with us living on it for now. We planned on fixing it up. We've got one room
Well, you won't have to worry about it. You just vacate. If there are issues, we'll deal with it later. Sounds
Okay.
like you're lucky to get out of there. All
Yeah,
right, Ms.
a little
Beals,
bit.
you're good to go. Thank you. I'll send you that order when I get it. Ms. Reed, thank you. Look for that order and, nobody can hear me, but I'll find it.
Do you want,
All
Your
right.
Honor, would you like me to just indicate that Ms. Beals has provided her consent on the record?
Yes, Ms. Beals, you did agree to that. She shook her head, yes.
Yes,
All
I
right,
did.
very good.
Okay, thank you, Your
All
Honor.
right, thank you. I'll see you next time.
Thank you.
All right, that leaves Mr. Rognus and Mr. Andrade on our next case, and that is not.
Oh, we still got 10 minutes.
Yes, Mr. Felt is here. Maybe you could talk to him.
Hey, Jay, you here? Where are you, Your Honor?
I'm in the small hearing room in front of Judge Patterson's office.
Okay, I'm on board barely.
Yes, barely. You do take your hat off and.
Oh, sorry.
Get out of your pajamas and we'll address this.
You need to get one of these, Jay.
I'll go find
Put a
one.
tie on. You look terrible. I'll let you get cleaned up.
I got 10 minutes, I think.
Yes, you do. Okay.
So apparently they.
Andy, do you have any of those clip-ons left? You could maybe.
I've got a few extras. I could give one to Jay.
Give him one.
Yeah. So apparently they're scheduling landlord-tenant cases the same day as the golf outing. Elaine just emailed me.
I was not aware of that. But
Well,
that may
they're set
entail.
for 9.
Well, the Kalamazoo attorneys, it won't matter for them. Did we
Yeah.
set one of yours?
2 of them.
What day is the golf outing?
The 19th of June, it's a Friday.
Yeah, it got moved around. Let's see what we got.
Yeah, well, it conflicted with Kalamazoo County last year. And then Lori Hines said they couldn't come if it was gonna be on the Labor Day weekend. So between those two issues, we changed it to June.
Well, that's fine with me. I have a sentencing that morning. Right now, I have a few.
Hey, I sent you that one for next week that
Yes,
they had a written agreement, but I just incorporated in the conditional dismissal. So you're probably gonna need to have both parties confirm on the record.
yeah, that's what I thought we would do.
That's fine.
All right, Miss Watkins is here.
Sorry, it took me a minute. I don't know why I did. It was different this time trying to sign on, but here I am. Yeah,
Well,
sorry.
You're a little early and I appreciate that. This is file number 26772LT. It's entitled, the name is Martin Andrade, but it's the Lauren Howard Trust. Mr. Andrade is there with Mr. Rognus at his office, and Erica Watson is here. Is Pedro Pedrosa there also?
He's here.
All right.
I do not have legal with me.
You don't have who?
Legal aid with me yet, but I have spoke with them and was advised to ask for a trial.
All right, as often in some of these cases, they're a little screwy. This lease appears to be
No,
an original
no
lease for the old
lease,
Clear Lake Marina, but there is no lease between Lauren Howard and Erica Watkins that I was able to discern. And they were asking for a rent of $200 per week. All right, Ms. Watson, this is not a great situation. Do you wish to stay here or do you wish to move?
Can I be honest with Your Honor?
Yes.
I'm gonna move unless I could buy it, and I was told I couldn't. That was until I spoke to Miss Howard yesterday morning. She finally
What did
answered me back my messages, so
What did she say?
she asked me why I didn't get a mortgage and that I should get a mortgage. This house has a lot of potential, and I asked that, and I was told that's not an option, but according to her, so now I need to just find her.
All right, well, wait a
And
minute. So did Miss Howard tell you yesterday she would sell you the house?
she told me, yeah, she said I should, literally just yesterday morning. I took a picture of it. I didn't make it to Centerville to drop some of this off to you. I'm very sorry. Gas is at $5 a gallon, and I went out and bought a truck last summer. And
All right, so, I'm not even sure, Mr. Andrade or Mr. Rognus, are you aware that Ms. Howard has been having conversations with Ms. Watkins?
completely unaware, Your Honor, and I think that's probably a violation. If Ms. Watkins were an attorney, she'd be violating the PRE.
I don't know what that means, but I used to work for Miss Howard. I was her bookkeeper, so I actually know her on a personal level. And I told Martin that. I'm sorry if he didn't listen.
All right, well,
I
this is
asked to buy.
all right, Andy, this is in an odd posture. That's a diplomatic way of
Yeah,
saying.
and not only that, Your Honor, the village is gonna cite this thing for all kinds of code violations because Ms. Watkins has not been taking care of the property, and there's an
That's
outstanding
not true.
800. Well, we've got the city or the village sending a letter out dated March 16th regarding the condition of the property. And there's also a water bill that's outstanding at $849 as well.
I was at the water bill place yesterday, as a matter of fact, and I talked to Sue, lovely lady, and she informed me that you guys were there and demanded they shut my water off. It's not in anyone's name. We do have a contract to pay the water. My receipt says 7 something, but hey, I get it. Things get messed up, but yep, I have a payment plan.
Just a minute. You said somebody went to the Village of White Pigeon and asked to turn your water off?
Yes, they said that he demanded my water be shut off. And so she then went to the chief of police to say, what do I do? And he came here to have me, and I went down there and talked to her. She knows me. I explained the situation. Okay, I'll go give her some Thursday, and we're good. And she told me about this, and she don't know who these people are, she said. Do you know who they are?
Stop. Mr. Rognus,
Andrade said they're not gonna pay this bill. That's all that he said to Sue down there.
Well, it was prompted them to call the police. Mr. Andrade, that could very well violate the landlord-tenant lockout law. And you could cost your principal a lot of money. You can't shut off somebody's water. And, so anyway, there's a factual dispute. Anyway, this is a mess and we're gonna need to address it further. The day of the golf outing would be a perfect day to do this, but,
No, it wouldn't, because I've got to work that day and you gotta be there too.
all right,
And Your Honor, an escrow order as well.
yes. Well, there's no lease. I'm not gonna grant an escrow order with no lease.
Well, this is a non-payment case and
I know, but I don't know how much the rent is.
she acknowledged a week ago it was $800 a month.
Well, I also heard $200 a week. This is a typical back of a napkin kind of a deal. Your principal is talking to the tenant behind your back.
Well, the tenant shouldn't be talking to the principal. If she were licensed, that would be a violation of the rules of professional.
Well,
Lauren's a common friend. I'm sorry.
Stop. So there's all kinds of issues. She's apparently got the water situation straightened out, but let's look at where we can move this to. How about June 5th at 2 o'clock?
Not a good day for me.
Okay. Let's take a look at that. I'm gone the 12th. How about June 8th?
Yeah, I've got two landlord tenants with you at 125 and 130. So yeah, we can pick it up after that.
All right, let's set it for 122.
What?
We'll just put it in there.
1:22 PM?
Yes, on Monday the 8th.
You sure you don't mean one? I've got stuff set with you at 125 and 130. You want to set it after the 130?
No, I've got something else set, so I'll set it in there, 125. I'll set it for 127. The 2-minute difference is just so they could fit it in the calendar. But Miss Watkins,
Yes, Your Honor.
and Mr. Rognus, you and your client need to figure out what Miss Howard has got going on behind your back. I don't want to do an escrow order because there's no lease. This is all screwy. Mr. Andrade's authority to act may be being undermined by his principal. She's working out some sort of agreement to purchase it. Mr. Andrade doesn't own it, so she can agree to do this if she wishes to. But you're rowing in one direction and she may be rowing in another. Miss Watkins, Mr. Rognus asked me to do an escrow order, or are you to pay money to the court? And I hold on to it. I would suggest that you set this money aside, because at some point, unless the case is dismissed, I'm gonna order that you pay the back rent. Last time it was $4,084 that the rent is in arrears. All that is in dispute.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we're gonna continue this to Monday, June 8th.
Now, okay, I'm sorry, I'm confused, but when do I say I wanted to do a trial?
Well,
The
discuss that
advice
on
I
the
got.
8th.
Okay, sorry. Okay, that's what I
Man,
needed to know.
this is ugly. I at least want to get everybody on the same page.
In their defense, can I say something? And so they know? I sent messages to Lauren before they were even involved. I wanted to buy this house. When they showed up, I said that, and they told me it wasn't an option.
All right, well, maybe it's not.
So I wasn't started.
There are all kinds of zoning violations I
which
don't
I
know if
could
there's-
get fixed if I owned it.
All right, so it's not just junk in the yard, it's things, it's like, what kind of issues is it?
There is no, I don't know what they're talking about because the code guy came and he was talking about stuff in the house, which are repairs we've been making. I have a stack of receipts for all this. We, every summer, spring, we take a pile of trash from the backyard to the dump from everybody else that has been here.
Well, let's assume there is a bunch of trash in the backyard, and whether it's yours or not, it's there. They're telling the landlord. They gotta
No,
clean
not
it up.
anymore. It's not. It's not there
Oh,
anymore. I'm saying in the last 4 years, that's what we've been doing, digging in the dirt. Like I'm talking stuff that they burned and yeah. So
All right.
that's how long it's taken us to get where we are.
All right, we need more
And I
information.
asked, yeah, I asked for them to have the zoning people come out.
Okay, we'll address it further on Monday, June 8th. All right, Mr. Rogers, you may wish to bring Miss Howard into this conversation. Perhaps you could reach some conditional order of dismissal. All right,
Okay.
thank you.